What is up everyone, Barricade here, and I'm bringing you guys a quick little video discussion talking about what I believe the new Gears of War game should have. In my opinion, I think the new Gears of War game on the Xbox One should have quite a few of dynamic maps. What I mean by dynamic maps is, if you remember in Gears of War 2, Gears of War 2 had quite a bit of maps that were very, unique into where something would happen that would either change the flow of the map, how the map would be played, or have huge dangers that you'd have to watch out for. And unfortunately, Gears of War 3 didn't really have too much of that. I think the only map that was really like that was like Bullet Marsh, and Bullet Marsh is just a remake of, Gears 1 map. I can't honestly really think of any other maps in Gears 3 that had something like that would cause you to die, or something that you had to watch out for, or something that would change the whole flow of the map either. Gears of War 3 really lacked that, unfortunately. Gears of War 2 didn't. It had these really crazy cool maps that, you know, that just would change the whole entire flow of the gameplay. The first one that comes to mind is like Avalanche. Avalanche, the way the whole map would basically go down these huge stairs, and it would have nades on the bottom. But after a certain amount of time, a huge avalanche would come and it would fill up that whole area with snow, and then on top of it would be a boom shot instead. Change the whole entire core of the gameplay of that map. Security had the lasers, where you have to be really smart on pushing the lasers, and you could even run into them and die, and you had to be really careful about not doing that. Hail obviously had, the hail that would kill you. The one that was really crazy, in my opinion, might have been a little bit overdoing it, but I still liked it, was how the map flood basically would flood the whole map with emulsion, and you had to be really careful and get into that center area when you knew. Kind of seemed a little silly at times. I knew certain game types didn't have it because they felt like it changed the core of the gameplay a little too much. It made everyone all rush in. Maybe something not as bad as that, but it was still a good idea in my opinion. It was still cool how Gears of War 2 had these crazy maps that would basically change the whole entire core of the gameplay. Yeah, you could be camping or something, but oh wait, you gotta move because the avalanche is coming, or you gotta move because they're gonna push the lasers and you gotta get out of the way, or the hail's gonna hit you or something. It was really cool how Gears of War 2 had that, and it added a huge uniqueness to the gameplay of Gears of War. Not many other games have that. Many other games they have something, very simple, like, oh, the map shakes, or it changes appearance. Like, the only other map that was like that in Gears 3 was Overpass. Overpass, basically the whole entire map would just change a little bit. Like, the background would look like it was falling more back or sinking in, but it didn't really change the core of the gameplay at all. It just made the background look cooler or different, or whatever you wanted to call it. It didn't change the gameplay at all. And in my opinion, I think the new Gears of War game, well, not every single map needs to have it. I think it should have quite a few maps like that. I like how Gears 1 and 2 incorporated that a lot in its maps, whereas Gears 3 kind of didn't. And they could really take really cool ideas, from the campaign as well, from the new Gears of War campaign. In my opinion, I think the story should take place, another prequel story that takes place after E-Day, and probably leads up to Gears 1 or something if they want to do another trilogy. I already said that before. But I think it should be a prequel game that takes place after E-Day, obviously, to have the Locust. And they could really take stuff from the campaign to add, and maybe, just basically little ideas to make the maps have this type of thing. One thing that just came to my mind right now that I think would be a really cool idea for a map is maybe have a map called Hammer, or Hammer Strike, something like that, basically mentioning the Hammer of Dawn, and maybe making that, if you remember in the story, the overall world is basically being taken over so much that they needed to use the Hammer of Dawn to give them a chance. They basically fried most of the planet to, give them a chance of survival and kill a lot of the locusts. Maybe this map could be called Hammer Strike or Hammer or something like that, because every certain amount of time a random Hammer of Dawn would come down, and not it wouldn't like envelop the whole map obviously, but there'd be like certain areas that have it, and you know when it's about to happen, so you can move. Something not like super overwhelming, it wouldn't take over the whole map, but basically just certain little areas that you wouldn't be able to camp in because a hammer strike would hit or something. Just certain things like that would be really cool. Or maybe make it that, maybe do something else with the Krill, like another map like Bullet Marsh with the lights. Maybe a map that's like in the nighttime and there's lights, and every so often the lights would go off and Krill would come in, or something like that. You know, it's really hard to think about stuff like that off the back. Of course, they would have to really sit there and think about it. But in my opinion, I really think that would really add to the game because that's what made Gears of War 2 so unique and so different than other games. You know, I played Halo a lot. I played Call of Duty several times. I don't really like COD too much, but I would play it with my friends a lot. I used to play Modern Warfare 2, and while I enjoyed those two, you know, Halo and Call of Duty, none of those really had those type of cool, unique maps. And then I would jump on Gears 2 and have to worry about an avalanche or the hail or something crazy like that. And it added to the experience because not only was I playing against good players, I also had to worry about something else. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something that the other fans didn't really like. Maybe that's why it wasn't in the Gears of War 3 so much. But whenever I talk about it to people or friends or anyone online, they tend to seem that they like it, that they really like these cool unique maps and wish that Gears 3 had that. Because in my opinion, even though Gears of War 3 is a better game than Gears 2, it didn't have those awesome, crazy, memorable maps that Gears of War 2 did. And in my opinion, I actually like the maps in Gears of War 2, and there's so many maps from Gears of War 2 that I wish was in Gears of War 3. But anyways, guys, I'm running out of time here. If you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button and subscribe and tell me what you guys think. Do you think Gears of War on the Xbox One should have these crazy dynamic maps that can change the whole core of the gameplay? Or do you like maps that are just basically set the way they are? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching and take it easy.